Hey everyone, there we go, we did it. You might be wondering why there's a giant purple me on the screen. That's the best we could do. I don't have any answers for you. So there's going to be a live video stream of me of what I'm doing up on the big screen up there. That's so you can see everything up close. It's also purple. I don't have a good reason for you for why it's purple. So can we show the slide? Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, we did it. OK. So hey, my name's Alex, and I work in doing security at Atlassian. And for some reason, someone let me do a talk up here, so here I am. Today, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. And the main thing we're talking about, oh, no, wait, before we talk about that, let me explain this dumb thing. So one time, some journalists at Vice magazine wrote about me, and they referred to me as a hacker who goes by the name Alex. And so now my real name is my hacker name, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, please don't destroy my excellent OffSec. So we've got a few things to talk about today. Mostly we're going to talk about how to trick people like you. And the two applications for that are magic tricks and pickpocketing. Those are just two things those are two examples of that. And you might be thinking oh, but tricking people is from phishing, and in security, tricking people, the first thing you might think of is phishing. And you might think, well, only dumb people get phished by Nigerian princes or people asking them to reset their password or stuff like that. But I mean, maybe just because you wouldn't fall for those phishing emails doesn't mean you wouldn't fall for some of this stuff, because magicians and pickpockets have kind of been doing this for a long time. So they've figured out some ways to consistently trick people, and I'm just going to tell you about them. So because I'm going to tell you about them, if you could keep it on the DL, that would be great. All of you people watching this on YouTube, if you could also keep it on the DL, that would be great. Thanks, everybody. OK, so first thing we're going to talk about is magic tricks. And you might be like, what is that? What is a magic trick? You might be thinking of the thumb pulling thing. You might be thinking of pulling rabbits out of hats. I have no idea how to pull a rabbit out of a hat, by the way. Or you might be thinking about cutting people in half. We're not going to talk about any of those things. So one way you could think about as for what is magic is, well, it's when you do something that's impossible. But is that right? Because if it's impossible, then you can't do it. So maybe you make it look like something impossible happens. And then, well, what does it mean to look like something impossible? Maybe that just means that the person watching it thinks something impossible is happening. So maybe you're watching the trick and you can't understand, you can't explain what you're seeing with, with the logic that you know. But actually, maybe it's even more complicated than that, because magic is really hard and your brain is freaking out and you're where did the ball go? I don't understand, and it's a scary time. And that's OK. So let me give you an example. Here is the most simple magic trick I could come up with. Imagine somebody says, look, here's a ball. You go, OK. And then they're like, OK, I'm going to put this ball into this box. And you're like, got it, I understand. And then they're like, OK, now I'm going to open the box that I just put the ball in. Maybe I'm going to wave over it or something, but now I'm going to open it. And you're expecting the ball to still be in there, because that's what balls do when you put them in boxes. They just stay there. But actually, you open the box and the ball's not there, and you're your brain doesn't understand that. Your brain's no, it's definitely meant to be there. And your brain's I don't get it. Why isn't it there? I'm expecting it to be there. I want it to be there, but it's not. And that's the feeling that you get when you see a magic trick, going, whoa, or I don't understand this. And so when your brain sees this, when your brain sees that the ball's not in the box, it's well, I can't explain why it's not in the box. So one of the things that I believe must be wrong. And you go and backtrack, and you're well, did the box not really open? Is it a separate box? Or did the ball never go in the box? Or was there even a ball? What's even happening? And your brain's furiously trying to go back and pop the stack of things that you have in your head of what you think is reality, and you're furiously popping the stack, but you can't all the things you're looking at, they can't explain what you've seen, and you're freaking out, and that's when you go, whoa. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, don't clap yet. But actually, if you're the magician, then you get to see this other reality, which is these kind of things diverge, right? What the audience sees as happening and what's actually happening are different. And your strength as a magician is the ability to live in both of these worlds at the same time, to pretend you're in the top world but secretly be in the bottom world. And so maybe when they say, look, a ball, maybe the ball doesn't actually go into the box. Maybe that's a great time to use your sneaky magic powers to put the ball in the other hand, and the ball does, and nothing goes in the box. And then while you're opening the box, everyone's looking in the box. So that's a great time to put the ball that you had back into your pocket, because everyone's looking at the box where the ball's supposed to be. But there is no ball there, because the ball's in your pocket, because you live in this crazy alternate timeline. And yeah, that's how it works. So here are two of the terms about magic that you might have heard of. And this is just some of it, but we're going to talk about these ones today. So you might have heard of sleight of hand and misdirection. And sometimes people use these as explanations for things. For example, if someone does a magic trick where something disappears, and they're like, whoa, how did the magician do that? Somebody might say, they used sleight of hand. And I guess so. But that's kind of like saying they used programming. You kind of want to know more than that. And so let's talk about it. So, sleight of hand. Here's a bunch of pictures of hands. If you've ever tried to learn a magic trick, this is what it looks like. People send you lots of pictures of hands, and you're meant to figure it out. And so in this example, the person is showing how to have a coin and pick up and move the coin to your other hand, but actually the coin stays in the original hand. And in the second example, they're doing some crazy coin switch thing where you're holding one coin and secretly holding a second coin, and you throw the coin into your other hand, but actually you throw the secret coin, you don't throw the real coin, and then it looks like the coin's changed to a different one while you were throwing it. And so I want to show you an example of sleight of hand, and so I'm going to attempt to use the camera. So now's the time to switch back to purple haze mode. So let's do it. And so is it easier for me to stand up here? Yeah, let's just stay up here. Can you zoom in like on my hand? Oh, not that much. OK. So this is all purple, and I'm sorry about that. And so let me show you an example of sleight of hand. This is kind of hard, so I might get it wrong, so please give me a few chances. So here I have a bunch of cards. Can you see them? Oh, it's pretty spooky. Let's do it like over here. Nope, OK, whatever, we're just going to believe. So I've got 4 cards here, and the deal is I'm going to count them like this. But I'm going to turn this one face up. So one of them is going to be face up, and I'm going to count them. But you're not going to see the one that's face up. It's going to look exactly like this, but secretly one of them is going to be face up. So I'm going to be hiding this card. And so I'm going to attempt to use sleight of hand to do that. Also, I might get it wrong because it's kind of hard, and I'm doing this on a big stage. So please give me a couple of chances. So are you ready for this incredibly impressive stunt? OK, let's do it. Oh, where did the other one go? So it's still there. It's right there. I'll do it one more time. So I'm counting these cards, but you don't see the one that's face up last time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But where did this one go? It was secretly there. You're like, Alex, why are you counting these 4 cards over and over again? But yeah, if you ever needed to specifically be able to count 4 cards where the third one's face up, but you can't see the face up one, now you know what that looks like. OK, let's go back to the slides. Are we doing it? Thank you very much, whoever is listening to me and switching it to and from purple haze mode. OK, so this other example is an example of misdirection. And so this picture warms my heart. I really get a lot out of this picture, and I hope you do too. So in this example, there's a magician holding an envelope, and the magician is like, here's an envelope, and the magician's looking at the envelope, and the spectator's also looking at the envelope, and everyone's looking at the envelope, but the real stuff is going on over here, where the magician's, I don't know, putting something into their pocket or taking something out, it's not clear. And so this is an example of, hey, if somebody is telling you, hey, I think you should put all your attention over here, but if someone just tells you, hey, look over there, you might be like, no. But if someone suggests that you look somewhere by like holding out their hand like this, you just automatically look at it. You don't even think about it. So that was a general example of sleight of hand and misdirection. Let's get more specific. So here are a couple of examples of particular techniques that magicians will use to trick you. So these are the markings you need to use to imprison somebody's soul in the shadow realm. No, I'm just kidding. This picture is to do with saccadic eye movements. So some scientists, no citation, just trust me, got this photo on the left, a photo of a face, and they put eye tracking stuff on people and asked them to look at the photo on the left. And they measured where the eyes moved, and so the lines represent eye movement. And so you can see that most of the people are looking at the eyes and they're going down at the mouth and stuff. But when they look at the left eye and the right eye, when they look between the eyes, they move in a straight line. Like they don't look from the left eye and then go in like a rainbow shape and then go over to the right eye, or they don't go in a squiggly shape. They go directly from the left eye to the right eye. And these scientists found that when you are moving your eyes in a straight line, left and right, and not moving your head, so if you're just moving your eyes left and right, you can't see in between the 2 points. You're completely blind when you're doing that. It looks like you can see, because your brain just fills in the gap. But if you're looking between 2 points, you just kind of look there, then you instantly look here. You don't have the scanning motion. And you can try this by looking in a mirror and looking at your left eye and then looking at your right eye. And your eyes don't move between your eyes. Your eyes just instantly jump. But if someone else is looking at your eyes, they'll see them slowly move. Because for some reason, it's very advantageous for our brains to have that. I think it's because if you're like turning really fast, you don't want it to be blurry or something, but I'm definitely not a scientist, so do not trust me on that. So I want to show you an example of that. Can we go back to purple haze mode? Yes. OK, thank you. So here is me holding this poker chip. Yep, you can see it kind of. So here's me holding this poker chip. It's red, if you just trust me that it's red. And so imagine that I want to take this poker chip and change it from this hand to this hand. But in particular, I don't want you to look at this hand, because actually when I'm changing it from this hand to this hand, it's not really going there, it's actually here. And so I don't want you to look over here. So there are 2 ways I can do it. You can tell me which one's more convincing. There's this way, or this way. So why is one way more convincing than the other way? Well, the answer is because when I do it like this and leave the two things up here, your eyes can easily look between the 2 points. Your eyes can just dart between these two things. And you can use that shortcut of instantly traveling across. But when I do it like this is a curvy shape, and your eyes have to keep updating to follow this curve. And so when I do this big shape, your eyes just automatically look at the big shape, and they don't look down here. So thanks for that. Thank you, eyes. Yeah, brains suck. Okay, next thing. Oh, I'm very sorry. We're going to be doing a lot of switching to and from purple haze mode. Okay, so this one is about pattern recognition. And so I have a whole bunch of cards here. Can we switch back to the crazy purple mode? Thank you for putting up with this. And so all the cards, I have a couple of cards here, I don't really know how many. And interestingly enough, they're all blank. Can you see that? Yeah, they're all blank. Alex, why did you bring so many blank cards up onto the stage? What's the point of a whole blank deck of cards? Are they blank, though? Like, are you sure? Like, they look pretty blank to me. Like, are you seeing how there's a whole bunch of cards here and they're all blank? But, like, that one's actually a 5, and these ones are also not blank. Only one of them's blank. So now that I've told you that, some of you probably figured it out already, but now that I've told you that, I'm going to do it again and see if you can figure out why they all look blank, even though only one of them's blank. Ready? Only one's blank. What? So some of you are laughing about it. So what's actually happening is I'm taking the top card and showing you the bottom card, and this is not blank. And then I'm taking the top card and taking the next top card, which is also not blank, but then just showing you the bottom card again, and then taking the top card and just showing you this over and over again, and you're like, okay, sure, that looks right. Because usually when people take things one at a time, they show you a different thing each time. But if you just kind of subtly show them the same thing each time, people don't really notice, because your brain is kind of trained to recognize that pattern and be like, usually people are not trying to mess with you. Usually people are just doing it the honest way. And so it's good for your brain to have that shortcut, because otherwise you're constantly checking if people are trying to mess with you. And so, yeah, if you can hear the sound, you probably can't all hear the sound, but if you can hear the sound, then your brain is like, yep, good, sounds like something's moving. That all matches with what I'm expecting to see. Because you're expecting to see a different thing every time. But yeah, magicians have figured out ways to trick people just by exploiting the weird default settings that brains have. Okay, back we go. Thank you again. So another way that magicians do things, another way that they do their tricks, is they'll put in a ridiculous amount of effort into doing a particular trick. Like put in loads and loads of preparation, but then when they're doing it, they'll just be like, hey, yeah, whatever, pick a card or something. Like they'll just act really chill about it. And that's to kind of misdirect away from the fact that they put in a ridiculous amount of effort. Kind of like how you put in a lot of effort into like finding an exploit or something, it takes you forever, and then you'd be like, hey, guess what, if you do this, then it's an exploit. So now I'm going to show you an example, and I'm going to bravely go down here to do it. So I'm going to need someone in the audience to help me. Don't worry, you don't have to do anything scary. Would somebody in the front row who I don't know, how about you? Could you pick, just touch any one of these cards that you want? That one. Okay. Would you like to change your mind? Because I want you to feel like it's a free choice. Sure, change your mind. Top one, would you like to change your mind now, or is that okay? No. Okay, go and take it. And show all those people. And could we switch back to the slides? So you have a card there. I have no idea what it is, except for some reason my next slide is, oh wait, this is the wrong bit. Oh well, let's just skip a few slides to the right bit. Is that your card? Yeah? But how is that? What, really? Like I had it in my slides beforehand? So keeping in mind that the theme of this was putting in a ridiculous amount of effort, how did I do that? Anyone? But I wouldn't do that. I'm an honest magician. I would never have an entire deck full of... Thank you. Let's just ignore what we just saw. So here's another way that magicians put in way too much effort. And we're going to awkwardly skip that King of Hearts thing later. This is going to be great. So they will come up to you. Like when you see a magic trick, you see some magician be like, hey, check it out. I have this coin. And you're like, okay. And then they're like, and look, now the coin's turned into an egg. And you're like, wow, that was a cool magic trick. And you go, wow, how did that coin turn into an egg? And then you leave. Or then you stop talking about their magic trick. Because that's what it looks like to you. But actually, behind the scenes, there's this extra thing going on, where before the magician even talks to you, before they even come up to you, they secretly prepare this crazy coin egg magic trick, and they have an egg hidden in their hand or something, however they do it. And then they come up to you and act really cool, like they're just deciding to do the trick right now, and be like, hey, I guess I've got this coin thing, whatever, I just happen to have it. You want to see? And then it turns into an egg, and you're like, whoa. And they're like, yeah. And then while you're going, whoa, that's the perfect time to like do any cleaning up that you need to do. So there's this secret before and after, because the game starts and ends at a different time to when you think it starts and ends. So magicians have this extra time to do all their sneaky stuff. Okay, I wonder what this is. It's secret unnamed technique, so I'm going to make sure I do the right one this time. And okay, right, got it. So now we're going to be down there again. So sorry for putting in purple haze mode. So it says secret unnamed technique because if I tell you what this technique is, it's not going to be as cool when you see the actual trick, because you're going to know what's going to happen. So can you see what's on the table here? Yeah, you can see good enough. Okay, it's purple, but that's fine. So here I have this cup, and I have this ball. And you may be thinking of the game with the 3 cups and the 3 balls, and you mix it around, and you have to find the ball. It's exactly like that, but with 1 cup and 1 ball. So it's a lot easier. So here's how it works. The ball's either going to be in one of 2 places. It's going to be under the cup, or it's going to be in my pocket. Those are the options. So let's have a practice round. Where's the ball right now? Some people are saying in your pocket. Some people have way too much faith in me. No, it's right here. That's called lulling you into a false sense of security, don't worry. And so let's try again. So I'm going to put the ball in my pocket. Where's the ball right now? In my pocket, right? Because it can't be under the cup, right? Well, actually, no. Actually, it can be under the cup. Ooh, I know. How did that get there? So if I put the ball on top of the cup, actually, I won't even do that. Let's just try one more time. So where's the ball right now? In my pocket, right? Well, I mean, it's not really, it's kind of cheating because, like, yes, there's a ball in my pocket. Like, that's totally fair. But, like, while you weren't looking, I secretly put this lime under the cup. I hope that's okay. And so the thing about having the lime under the cup is that, like, again, while you weren't looking, I secretly put this other lime under the cup. I've got limes for days, and these don't even fit in here. So would anyone like a delicious Brisbane lime? Is anyone good for one? Anyone else? Limes? Both of you in the front row? Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm going to go back up on the stage now. Okay, so the thing there is, the timing was really, really important. So I'm not going to tell you exactly how I did that trick, but maybe if you look at these slides and think about what you just saw and watch the recording a few times, you can figure it out. So the secret to that thing is the exact timing in which you do your secret thing is important. For example, there are a couple of times in like conversation where it's socially appropriate to take a break. So for example, if someone tells a joke, everyone laughs and stops looking at the person and stops drinking their drink. Everyone takes a break to laugh. But you don't have to take a break if you don't want to. If you're a magician, after you tell a joke is a great time to suddenly do a sneaky thing, because no one's watching you. Everyone's like, oh, thank you for giving me this time to relax and laugh and stuff. And you're like, no problem, doing your sneaky thing. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the Capture the Flag competition that's running. So upstairs, there's a Capture the Flag competition running right now. And one of the questions, as I understand it, as some random people told me, I hope it's true, is that if you can get a speaker to put your team name in their slides, then you get some points. 400 points? I'm not sure how many. And so a couple of people came up to me and were like, hey, please put my team name in your slides, please, please, please. And I was like, no, you have to do something cool. So I said, I don't know why I said this, but I said, if you can go and find somebody and stick a sticker to them somewhere, any sticker, while talking to them, so not like sneaking up behind them, you have to be talking to them, and without them noticing, and with me watching, then I'll put your team name in my slides. And there were 2 teams who tried to do this thing, and they both tried exactly the same thing. They both said, okay, and they went away for a while, and they got a sticker, and they went up to has anyone heard of the awkward hugs, like movement around here? And they went up to the awkward hugs people, and they were like, I think we should hug right now. And the people were like, sure. And so here's a photo of one of the people hugging one of the awkward hugs people, sticking a sticker to their back. There was another team that stuck a sticker to the back of one of the awkward hugs people, and while I was watching successfully, and then I said, hey, my awkward hugs band is like a bit broken because I got mine a long time ago at CrikeyCon, and it's like missing the A's coming off. Can I have another one? And they were like, sure, but you have to awkwardly hug me. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I took the sticker back off their back so it wouldn't be there for the next team. So yeah, congratulations. Here's your prize, teams. I think you're meant to take a photo of this or something. So here you go. Now's your time to take a photo. You did great. I hope someone from your team's taking a photo because you certainly aren't. Okay. I'm just going to leave this up here for a while, say well done, everybody. I think we should clap. Well done. I'll keep your identities forever a secret, except the guy who was in the photo just then. Okay, let's move on. So what is this secret unnamed technique? Let's not get it wrong this time. Okay, so now it's time to do another magic trick, and I'm going to need someone to come up here and be a volunteer. So someone's going to come up, and I'm going to do this magic trick for them. They're going to come down here. Who would like to? It doesn't matter. Anyone. I know you've already seen this before, so somebody else. Just have to come and stand here and watch a magic trick. Anyone? You. Okay, come on up. Thank you very much. Okay, can you stand here, and can we have the purple haze thing going on so everyone can see? Yeah, good shirt. Oh, we both have... Okay, cool. All right, so this trick involves this poker chip again. It's the same poker chip from before. Are you left or right-handed?
Right.
Okay, could you hold out your left hand like this? And I'm going to put the poker chip in your hand like that. And could you close your hand around the poker chip? Okay, so it's in your hand, and I can't get it now. So would you be impressed if I could take it out of your hand? Say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Open your hand. Yeah, see, I'm going to cheat if you let me, because I'm just totally going to do that. That's okay, it's your first time. So keep your hand there, and so this time I'm going to hold it in my hand, and what I want you to do is hold onto my wrist. Hold onto it as tight as you can, hold it, and lift your hand a little bit higher, and you hold it on as tight as you can, because it's not even there anymore. It's not there at all. Don't move at all. Just let go, and just keep your hand exactly where it is. You can let go of my wrist now, it's okay. Does anyone know where the poker chip is? Anyone know? Look on your shoulder, it's right there. Okay, thank you very much. So, what was that about? I don't remember, but the slide will tell me. Oh yeah, that's right. So, it's kind of similar to the timing thing. As well as choosing exactly the right time to do the magic trick, there's the idea of the spotlight. So, for example, in that trick, while I was lifting his hand up in the air and he was holding onto the coin, holding onto the poker chip at the very top, the spotlight is on both of our hands at the top. That's where you're supposed to look, exactly like a spotlight in the play. The spotlight says to look right here, and usually it's the right place to look, so you go, okay, and you look in the spotlight. And so everyone's looking right there. And so people aren't looking in the part outside the spotlight. And that's a great place for you to do your sneaky stuff. So it's not all about the timing, it's also about where you do it. Okay, this is the thing I messed up last time. Oh, wasn't that a good trick? Okay, so the reason that we did that is because people believe that they have a choice. People believe that they have freedom of choice if you give them a choice. For example, they say, oh, would you like to pay for this thing now or later? But maybe the answer is never. So you give people a list of options, and they often think that that's the full list of options, because most of the time, when people give you a list of options, it is the full list of options, or at least most of them. And so your brain automatically goes, okay, which is good, because if your brain didn't have these shortcuts and you're constantly questioning these things, you would go crazy, because you'd be like, well, maybe this isn't actually real, or, oh, I don't have all these shortcuts in my head. So it's really good that we have this, but also people have figured out how to exploit it. And so, let me give you an example of this. Say you're a sneaky red teamer, and you're doing a red team engagement, and you're in some building, and you want to put your access pass back, or they tell you, now it's time to put your access pass back in this box where we return access passes. But you don't want to. You want to keep your access pass, because you want to use it for sneaky reasons. I forgot my access pass, so I'm going to use this card, which is about the size of an access pass. Can we go back to purple, I guess, so people can see this small part? And so, pretend this is an access pass. I forgot mine, sorry. And pretend there's a box here that I want to put it into. There's a couple of ways you can do this. The easiest way is to just distract the person who is watching you and just conveniently forget to put your access pass back. But if for some reason you can't do that, if for some reason you have to use magic, then here's some ways you can do it. One way you can do is pretend to put the access pass in the box, but then secretly still have it in your hand like this. Another way you can do it is to be like, sure, I'll put the access card in the box, and go like that, like you're putting it in the box, but really it's still here. Another way you can do it is when you're transferring it between your hands, actually take nothing and palm the card and put nothing in the box. And if you apply all those principles, like doing it while telling a joke, or like when you put your fake access card in the box, being like, yes, I'm putting it in right now, then maybe it will be more believable. But also, you should probably just social engineer the person and convince them you don't need to put the access card in the box. But if you want, you can do that. Okay. So now it's time for the second bit of this talk. And this part is about pickpocketing. And so here's a famous pickpocket. No, that's me. Okay. I hope not. Here's a famous pickpocket. His name is Apollo Robbins. And when you see this picture, I want you to notice the first thing you look at when you see this picture. It's probably his face, because people look at faces. And then you see the newspaper, and then your eyes kind of follow down to the bright part down here, and you see he's actually stealing the phone of this guy, stealing something from his back pocket. And so this is kind of what pickpocketing is all about. A lot of people think that pickpockets have extremely fast hands and extremely light hands, and they can just touch you and do anything because their hands are so skilled. And like there is a little bit of skill in your hands involved in there, but it's mostly about distracting you. Because The reason people believe that fast hands is the answer, or light hands is the answer, is because it explains everything. If somebody has fast hands, then yeah, they can definitely do all the pickpocketing stuff. But there are other, more believable explanations, like you weren't paying attention. For example, getting off a bus is a classic time people steal your stuff, because the bus is really cramped, and you're all there, and you're not thinking about your pockets, you're thinking about the bus, and you just get off, and then you lose your wallet. It's just not there. There's a famous bus in Rome called the Wallet Eater. Okay, let me give you an example of this attention thing. Everyone hold up your wallets. No, don't do that. So let me give you an example of attention science. So if you want to play this game, close your eyes right now. I promise nothing bad will happen. You don't have to do this, but close your eyes if you want to play my crazy game. I recommend you do it. So everyone's got their eyes closed? Who's ready? Okay. So I've been talking to you for some time now, and you've all been looking at me. And so I guess what I want to ask is, what color are my shoes? Like, I'm wearing shoes. You've been looking this whole time. They're pretty crazy shoes, so you should probably notice them. But have you been paying attention? So keep your eyes closed and have a guess. Don't just be like, oh, I don't know, they're all warm color. Get an actual guess, commit to it, and then once you've got something, open your eyes. Okay, here's my shoes. Hands up if you were right. Nobody was right? Like, nobody was right. Wow, disaster. Okay, let's try again. Everyone close your eyes a second time. You can close your eyes this time even if you didn't the first time. Everyone's got their eyes closed? Who wants to play? Okay. So you've got your eyes closed, and now that you've remembered what I'm wearing, the question is, what are you wearing right now? What are you currently wearing? So just think about it and commit to an answer. Don't be like, oh, I might be wearing this shirt. Like, get very specific. Make sure you know what color shirt you have. Make sure you know what shoes you have, what socks you have. Think about it. You've been wearing it all day, and open your eyes. And everyone look down. So hands up if you were right. Okay, better, but not everybody. Also, did anyone notice that the word attention changed to the word giraffe on the slides while you were doing that? Yeah. So this is exactly what pickpockets do, right? They suggest that your attention should go somewhere, but really the real show is happening behind the scenes somewhere else. So there, your attention was going all over the place. It was going to my shoes, it was going to your clothes, it was going everywhere, but I didn't ever suggest to look at the slides, and slides don't usually change without you noticing, so while your eyes were closed, I changed the slide to something else. And you didn't notice because you were busy looking at your clothes and my clothes and thinking about, wow, what a great talk and stuff, so that's why. Okay, so this is somebody walking around with something in their back pocket. So there's two kinds of pickpocketing. There's like on the street and on the stage. So we're going to talk about a bit of both. So if you're on the street and you want to steal something from someone's back pocket, there's a few ways to do it. Usually you work in a group of people. Pickpockets don't usually work by themselves. They have like distinct roles and everything, and they all do different parts. And one way to steal something from a back pocket is for your friend to bump into this person from the front and like start yelling at them and being like, why did you bump into me? I can't believe you did this, blah, 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 blah. Anything you want just to get their attention in front of them. And at the same time as you bump into them from the front, you also bump into them from the back, and you just take the thing out of their pocket. You don't use secret, you just take it. There's no secret hand movements, you just like, you can use your fingers like this, and you just take it out of their pocket. And the reason they don't feel it is they've got bigger problems. Someone's bumping into them from the front, and the exact moment you take it is while you're bumping into them. And then afterwards, they're not thinking about their wallet because some guy is yelling at them for some reason, and they're like, whoa, what's happening? And then the guy who's yelling at them decides, okay, fine, I'm not going to yell at you anymore, and leaves. And by the time they've done that, the wallet's long gone, and they've lost their thing. But if that's too hard, pickpockets also just do this, which is like way easier, where they just come up behind you and just cut your pocket, and you can't feel it because there's a wallet in your pocket in the way, and the wallet just falls out. And then while you're getting off the bus or while you're doing some other thing, they take the wallet out. So they have no respect for pockets, is I guess what I'm saying. And so another example is stealing watches. Particularly smartwatches are great, because watches do way more than tell the time now. Before you could steal a watch and just sell it, but now people's notifications appear there, you can two-factor auth in there, you can unlock their phone, you can do lots of stuff if you steal someone's watch. So if someone's ever like shaking your hand for a particularly long time, or if like someone's holding your hand while they're like leading you somewhere, that would be a great time for them to like secretly take off their watch with one hand and like do all the movements to secretly take off the watch. And then while you're distracted, they'll be like, hey, did you remember your wallet? And like while you're thinking about your wallet, they take the watch off and it's gone. If it ever happens to be that the most effective way for you to complete your physical security red team engagement is to steal someone's smartwatch and like stay close enough to them so the Bluetooth connects and like access their phone that way, please tell me about it because that's awesome. Okay, if you're wearing dresses, you're completely safe from pickpockets because you don't have any pockets for some reason. So dresses are great for not getting pickpocketed from. One of the terrible trade-offs to pay, one of the good things about dresses having no pockets is that you can't get pickpocketed. But one of the bad things is your clothes have no pockets for some reason and you can't store your stuff. I don't know. I hope it's worth the price to pay. I don't think so. So if you wear a dress, you can't get pickpocketed. But if you're wearing a dress, you might be carrying a bag, and bags are really easy to steal because people leave them all over the place and you can cut the straps, so, you know, stay safe out there. Okay, so back to this picture again. This picture, still warming my heart, is about jackets. Is anyone wearing a jacket, actually? Is anyone coming up here and want to be... No, of course no one's wearing a jacket. It's like 30-something degrees. Oh, you're wearing a jacket? Do you have inside pockets and feel like coming up here? Okay, never mind then. Well, okay, I'm just going to pretend I have a person here. So, actually, no, we'll do... Does anyone have a shirt with like a pocket here and something in the pocket? Yeah, you don't have to come up here, but if you want, you can come up here. You two should fight each other to decide which one's going to come up here. And also this guy should also fight you. Okay, well, you seem to be in front, so I guess you win. You can come down here. Come down here. I'll join you down there. And can we switch? Yeah, oh, thanks. Thanks. And can we switch to the camera? Yeah, we can. All right, thanks. So I'm just going to move this, actually, because I need you to be in the middle. So pretend that you're wearing a jacket, but you're not. Pretend this is your inside jacket pocket. If somebody wants to steal from your inside jacket pocket, there are a few ways. The most common way is they come up to you on the street and they spill something on you. Like they're holding like a soft drink or mustard or a hot dog or something, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry that you got mustard all over you. And like while they're apologizing and helping you clean the stuff off, they take the stuff out of your pocket. Because they're like all over you being like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm helping you, I'm cleaning you, and you're like, whoa, I'm covered in mustard, and you're freaking out, and you're not paying attention to the stuff in your pockets. Another way is you, again, have to work in a team. If you're like on a train or something and you want to steal from a pocket right here, you might like reach over to your friend. You might be like, hey, excuse me, do you have this thing over there? And then your hand's already like right here, ready to steal the stuff, right? So it's kind of like that. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for being a dummy. No, switch back. Thanks. Okay, damn it, I was meant to keep you up there. Could you please come back up here for a second? Can we, anyone come up here? Let's let someone else have a go. Does someone want to come stand up here? Ignore the fact that it's personal space on the slide, it's going to be fine. Oh, I forgot to jump off. Thanks. Okay, so for this example, you might have noticed that in doing pickpocketing, you need to be close enough to touch somebody. For example, I cannot pick this guy's pockets because I'm all the way over here. And so one part of it is getting close enough to somebody without them like freaking out that you're going to steal their stuff, even though you are. So for this example, could you like face me like this, like we're meeting? Yeah. And I'm going to move this table, I suppose. And can we switch to the camera so people can see? Thanks, sorry about that. So in this example, we're facing each other, and say I want to come up to you and talk to you. If I like make eye contact with you and like walk up to you like this, it's like, whoa, you're like entering my space and you're making eye contact, and it's scary. So if you look at someone and walk towards them, it's going to be like, you're going to set off all their alarms. So you could also try looking at them, but then coming around the side like this, but they kind of follow you and look at you like that, right? Because you're making eye contact with them, and they're like, whoa, who is this person looking at me? So a way to get around that is to not make eye contact with them, but instead of walking up to them like this and getting in their space, you'd be like, hey, check it out, I have this thing on my phone, let's take a selfie. And like then they're looking at the phone, and you're already up in their space, and you can get a great selfie of you stealing their stuff. It's great. So that's something you can use in your pickpocketing adventures. Thank you very much. Okay, these things. Who has one of these, by the way? Not the bottom part. Who has one of these like little clippy things to store their like work access thing on? Anyone got one? A couple people? So these things are pretty common because they're really easy to store your like access pass. You can keep it on your body, and you can like easily retract it and stuff. But it's really easy to get it off the belt because you just push it up as a little clip. And this is like, all you have to do is worry about this thing. Don't worry about that. This is where all the action is. And so you just push it up and it comes off. So it's really easy to, like, as you're walking past someone, bump into them or like reach around them or reach past them and just lift the thing up. Doesn't make any noise because this is plastic and this is metal, so they don't clink into each other, and you just walk straight past them. It's as easy as that. So another thing you might want to do for some reason is make someone look somewhere else. Because the easiest way to steal something is when nobody's looking at it and it's just sitting there. So, for example, if you're talking to someone, you might be like, wow, that's really colorful, and like just look somewhere else. And when someone does that to you normally, if someone says, hey, that's really colorful, and looks behind you, you're going to turn around and look behind you and look at whatever they think is colorful, even if there's nothing there. It's better if there's something colorful there, so they go, oh, okay. But if you really want, you can just try it without that. And then they turn around, and you can do whatever you want, because they're just not looking at you. So you can do anything you like. Another example is you might be like, what does that sign say, or something? Or like, hey, do you know that guy, or something? And people, like, if someone asks you, hey, do you know that guy behind you, are you going to not turn around? Are you just going to keep looking at them and be like, no, I'm not going to look at this person that you're asking me if I know. Of course you are. You have to do it. And so people just do it. They turn around. Another example is if you want to steal something kind of down here, if you want people to not look down here because you want to like reach around them or pick something up off a table, if you just make eye contact with them, they'll make eye contact with you, and then they're not looking down there. It's like there's a whole bunch of kind of simple tricks that you just do to move people's attentions around, and then you get to do whatever you want because they're not paying attention to you, because you only have so much attention to spend. Okay, another example is phones. Time to go back down here, I suppose. I'm sorry about all the switches. So, imagine you're at a cafe, and everyone has left their phones on the table, because, I don't know, they're doing one of those no phone cafe things, I don't know. And so here is a phone, for example. Can you see it there? Ooh, yeah, okay, that's fine. So here's a phone on the table, and you're at the cafe, you're just trying to eat something, but then somebody comes up to you, and they have these postcards. These are just blank cards, but pretend they're postcards. And they come up to you, and they're like, hey, do you want to buy one of these postcards? And they're like, please buy one. They're like really good postcards. Do you want to buy one? Like, please. They're like, come on, do you want to buy one? Please be nice. And then you're like, no, go away. I don't want to buy your postcard. And they're like, okay, sorry. And they leave. But while they were covering up the phone with the postcards, or even pointing to the postcards, they're like, hey, do you want to buy one of these? They're really good. Your attention is completely on the postcards, but you've forgotten that there used to be a phone underneath there. Because humans are kind of bad at remembering what used to be in places, kind of bad at noticing changes. For example, if I was wearing like different colored shoes right now, you wouldn't even notice until someone pointed it out. And so people come up to you, cover stuff up, and then while they're covering it, they pick up the thing underneath it. And this works. People do this all the time I think in Spain or in Rome or something. Those places are pretty big pickpocketing places. People just walk into cafes and steal stuff. Okay, so here's an example of somebody doing that. They're like, hey, you want to buy this postcard? They cover up the wallet, and they take the wallet. And then they just leave, and you don't notice for ages, because why would you? You're just like kind of confused about the postcard guy. Okay, so I've been talking for a while, and you might be wondering, like, this is a CrikeyCon, this is like a HackerCon, like where's the technical content that hacker conferences are known for? Thank you very much.